Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's get to our warm-up. So nice and easy. We've got about a 2-minute warm-up here. You can do what I'm doing or something else. All we're looking for is some consistent movement to get the body ready for more activity. Get the blood flowing throughout the body, throughout all the muscles and joints more, bringing nutrition and oxygen. Also stretching the lungs out, bringing oxygen to the body. Warming things up. Things move much better when they're warmed, when they're greased up, the joints especially. So again, just consistent motion, nothing heavy duty, because we don't want to get our breathing and heart rate up too high, because again, our body, unless you're already warmed up, it's going to work much better when we do work harder, when it's not such a shock to the body. So I'm getting, inside, outside of the hips and thighs, working, arms and shoulders, some chest. Let's go back and forth here. Palms up, squeezing those shoulder blades, and let's go with a heel tap. Just barely breaking a sweat by the end of this 2 minutes, if that. All right. Well, it's got about 30 seconds. Do some bicep curls here. Some knee curls. Nice good pace on all this. If you're a little tighter, start off a little slower and then build up with a little bit of pace and speed, momentum. All right. A little bit of a march, ladder climb here for the last 5 seconds. All right, nice job here. So first one up we have is the reverse lunge with a torso twist. So if you want, doing this next to a wall or a chair or window sill or something for just a little bit of balance support if you need it, okay? So our reverse lunge, what it looks like is we're gonna work and plant most of our weight on this front leg. So what I'll do is I'll take a big step back, both knees will bend, heel can come up on the back foot, but again, I'm hinging forward just slightly, keeping my weight over that front foot. Knee is going to be above the shoelace, ankle, toe area, not going forward, but being right above it. So once I get down, I'm going to twist each way, and then back up. And then what I can do is keep with the same leg, stepping back, or if you want, you can alternate legs. Either way, okay? So down, the lower you go, the tougher it's gonna be, harder it is to get back up. And you can also do one, twist to one side and a twist to the other side. So whatever works for you, but we're working lunges and a little bit of obliques and torso twisting, nice and controlled. Again, most of your weight's on that front leg. The back leg is there for support. Keep breathing. And again, the lower you go, harder it's going to be to get back up. More work and more weight. Almost there. All right, take a break there. So we're getting quadriceps in the thighs, we're getting glutes in the rear. Again, obliques with that rotation move. Shoulders and arms, having to hold steady and support. So we got a good 17 seconds, and then we will get back. And what I'll do is I'll go back with the left leg now so that the right leg will get work. All right, here we go. Let's get in position and let's begin. Get a couple in here before I start the torso twist. All right, feeling good. Nice and controlled with that twist. Oh, again, that balance, tough enough with just lunges, but now you're adding a little bit of a twist. So a little tougher to hold on to things for balance. Again, all depends on how comfortable you are. You can always omit the twist, just do the lunges. Nice and controlled. About 18 seconds. You can hold a dumbbell in your hands, of course, if you want a little bit more resistance and work for the upper body. Okay. All right, nice job. So next what we're going to go on to is the incline push-up. So we need to find a counter space. Okay, we are over here at the kitchen counter. Counter is one of the best places for an incline push-up, especially if you have a countertop that's beveled. If not, if you have something that's a little sharper, maybe having some gloves or roll up a towel or something to kind of give you a little bit of padding here. So what we're doing basically is a push-up just from an incline position, so not as much body weight on the hands. So what I'll do here is I'm going to step back far enough away that when I go down into the push-up position, I want the counter where my hands are touching right here on the middle chest. So what I'll do is I'll brace the abdominals, push in and push out. Hands are just wider than shoulder width apart. And then what I'll do is I'll add a heel raise to this. So feet are about hip width apart. I'll go up on the toes and back down into the push-up and alternate back and forth. So working the calf muscles, and then also the pectorals in the chest, front deltoid in the shoulder, tricep in the back of the upper arm. I'm getting some work on the stabilizers in the torso, the abdominals and spine. We got about 10 seconds. Nice and controlled. All right, take a break there. So incline push-ups again are great for building up the same muscles that push-ups do. It's just a lot easier on the elbows, shoulders, especially if you're not used to doing push-ups. But again, a staircase where you can have your feet down and your hands up on 4 or 5 stairs up, depending on how long you are. Countertop, bathroom or kitchen, as long as it's solid. And of course having enough room to step back. If you're taller, of course, you're gonna have to step back further, but either way, let's go ahead and begin. You wanna make sure that where your chest is touching that counter or stair, where your hands are, is right at about mid to bottom chest. If I stand back too far, then I'm getting into the neck area, and I don't want to do that, okay? So once you find where you're going to do your push-ups, windowsill, back of a heavy-duty couch or something, then adjust your feet so that where your hands are touching hits right at the middle and bottom part of the chest. Again, hands at about, just wider than shoulder width apart. Nice and controlled. Abdominals are tight. Trying to stay as rigid as you can from your ankles up to your neck. And then, if you want, adding these heel raises in. All right. Nice job. Let's get to the next one. All right, nice job. So next up we have external rotation with the hamstring curls. So you're going to need your resistance tubing for that. With or without handles, doesn't matter. We're not going to use the handles. So what we're going to do, you're going to start palms up, elbows tucked to your sides, okay? Grip the resistance tubing. You can wrap if you want. Wrap it around the hands. At about elbow width is where you want to start. So bent at about 90 degrees. We're going to do this sort of motion here, okay? We're going to pull those hands apart, squeezing the shoulder blades together towards the spine, all right? So once we get comfortable, I'll show you what else we're doing with this. So pick a nice light resistance. And the closer the hands start together, the harder it's going to be. So what we'll do now is we'll add, what are we doing? Hamstring curls. So basically just this sort of motion here, nice and slow and controlled. I'm rocking back and forth, and what I'll do is I will pick, one foot to do the hands with. Instead of trying to, go fast with the hands, I'm just going to go 1 foot. So it's a half time on the upper body and then full pace on the lower body. Working the hamstrings and the back of the thighs. And then here we're getting the external rotators in the shoulders, along with upper back muscles between the shoulder blades with that shoulder blade squeeze. All right, take a break there. So again, hands are close to, or about shoulder to elbow width apart, and then pulling out as far as you can, rotating as far as you can go. And then think about squeezing those shoulder blades together towards the spine as you do that. But again, nice and controlled. You wouldn't want to do it on every leg. That's just a lot of, a lot of quick motion, and we want to take care of these shoulders a little better, a little slower and controlled. All right, so back in position. Remember, good posture, relax your shoulders, and let's start back up. So I'll start with these guys, and add the legs in. And legs, you're just bending those knees as far as you feel comfortable. So we're working coordination and balance. Again, if you feel like your form is not looking great on either exercise, then break it apart. Maybe 1 minute you do the upper body, second minute you do the legs, or just during the break you do the legs. You don't have to put it all together if your form isn't feeling or looking great. Remember to keep these elbows tucked in at your sides like they're glued to your sides and bent at about 90-degree angle. We don't want to use those arms, those triceps. We want rotation only, not elbows straightening and bending. Almost there. All right, nice job. Okay, so get rid of the tubing. We've got a cardio up next. Work on the heart and lungs and circulatory system. So grab some water, making sure you got water bottle close by. You can get going right away, or we have a transition of about another 28 seconds. So all up to you whether you want to get going right away or take a break. Either way, make sure your area is clean. You've got a good arm's width all the way around you. 5 foot by 5 foot if you can, or bigger. Put your dumbbells away, move chairs, coffee tables, whatever you need to do to make sure that you've got some good space. All right, officially going. We got about 2 minutes and 21 seconds left. So like the warm-ups, same sort of thing. We'll start off at this pace and then we'll speed up slightly in the next 20-30 seconds. Do a little front punch here. Nice and easy. How hard you work is up to you. I'm going pretty moderate. I want to be able to talk to you still and have you understand me and not hearing me just, wheeze and breathe away. So I'm going a little easier. You, depending on what your goals are, might work a little harder or a little easier, depending on your condition. Basically, if you think about the talk test, like right now I'm talking to you, you can understand me, you can hear me, I'm not too out of breath. That means I'm probably at about 70% of my maximum heart rate, which is decent. That's, good for, burning some fat, that sort of stuff, building a little bit of endurance. Not, too heavy on the cardio. So if you want to work harder, think about that talk test. If you can't talk out loud, then you're probably above that 70% maximum heart rate. All right, switch it up here. And we can speed this up. When we did the exercise we just did, we slowed things down. Now we have no resistance, so we can speed things up a little. Nice and easy. And let's go back. Keep those legs and arms straight. I'm gonna hinge forward from the waist slightly. Working the glutes in the rear, upper back and shoulders. Nice and controlled, but a good pace. All right, we got about 28 seconds. Let's do a little bit of step, and kick. Just consistent motion. You can do what I'm doing or something else. If you've got dance classes you've been to, or aerobics, or maybe you have an aerobic step, or maybe you've got a bicycle or treadmill in the room, you could jump on that for 2.5 minutes. Jump rope. All right, nice job there. Okay, so on to a supine bridge. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna need a mat for this, or if you don't have one, we're just gonna do some work on the floor. So up to you. So laying on your back, the hook lying position. So knees up, feet flat. Okay, get down a little further. All right, so knees up, feet flat. So this hook lying position, bridge. What we're gonna do, you can place your hands, if you need more stability, at your sides like this, nice and wide, or closer, or on your chest, or behind your head, or up above. Those are all kind of progressions. So what we'll do here is we're gonna lift the hips up, hold 3 seconds or 4 or 5 or 10 seconds, and relax. Rotate your pelvis back, tighten those abdominals, lift your hips up off the ground. And again, hold 3 seconds or 5 seconds, 10, 30 seconds, whatever works for you. And then back down nice and easy. Rotate the hips, flatten that spine against the ground, tighten those abdominals, and then lift those hips up as high as you can. Squeezing the cheeks together on your rump. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath at all. You can flex those abdominal muscles and back down. Again, however long works for you. There you go. All right, take a break there. Nice. So here we're working abdominals. We're working a little bit of low back for stabilization. We're getting a lot of glutes in the rear. We're getting a lot of hamstring in the back of the thigh. And then, inside of the thigh muscles, some of those smaller muscles are having to help out a little bit. Just stabilize. Remember to keep breathing. Don't hold your breath at all. And again, if you want this easier, stabilize yourself with your arms at your sides on the ground. If you don't need that, hands on your tummy, your chest, up above is going to be a little bit tougher to hold. So it all depends on what works for you. All right, let's try it again here. So rotate that pelvis, push that low back into the ground, tighten abdominals, and lift. And again, lift nice and high, as high as you can. You know, even if you're just getting your weight off the hips, just a little bit off the ground, that's okay too. It all depends on what's comfortable for you. But you want to try to get up as high as you can without arching that low back. And then hold as long as you can too. Keep breathing. I've got my elbows kind of on the ground here. This is comfortable. Squeezing the glutes in the rear, I feel that working. Back of the thigh is working. All right, nice job. Okay, so our next exercise, we're going to stay in this position, in the supine position, except now you're going to grab your weight. And I got to make sure this mic doesn't start rubbing on this one. So forgive the noise here. So grabbing your dumbbell, dry hands, nice firm grip. Last thing we want to do is, drop this on our face. So what we're going to do here is a skull cruncher. We're going to work the tricep muscles, the back of the upper arm. So how we're going to start this is that pelvic tilt. So rotating that pelvis, pushing that low back into the ground, and tightening the abdominal muscles. Just holding that position. Hips are going to stay on the ground, okay? And then what we're going to do is keep our arms straight above us, okay? Straight above our face here, and then we're going to bend the elbows until the dumbbell comes down to about the forehead, and then straighten the elbows. Nice and slow and controlled. Again, firm grip. Now we're working triceps, the backs of the upper arms, along with the abdominals and low back with this pelvic tilt. Nice and controlled. And then when you need a break, take a break. And then reset that pelvic tilt, tighten those abdominals, and start again. And you can hold that tilt as long as you want. You can try for the whole minute and keep the arms going the whole time, or maybe you're holding for 5 seconds on that pelvic tilt, and then you take a break and then reset and start. Again, all up to you. Tighten those abdominals. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath at all. Nice and controlled with the arms. All right, take a break there. So relax the pelvis. You can also set that dumbbell down if you want. Give your hands a break. Remember to keep breathing. And again, hips stay on the ground. It's different than the bridge. During the bridge, we pelvic tilt and then lift. Here, we're just pelvic tilting. Hips are going to stay on the ground. All right, let's get in position again. All right, here we go. Nice firm grip on that dumbbell, remember. So pelvic tilt, tighten those abdominals and hold. And now start bending and straightening the elbows. Again, it's all in the elbows with the arms. No shoulder movement. This is purely elbows. So we're working and isolating the tricep muscle, back of the upper arm. And again, I'm holding the dumbbell nice and wide. The hands can come together, whatever's comfortable. You can always, hold the dumbbell like this too, but you're not going to get as much range of motion. Here, I've got a little more motion before the dumbbell, whacks me. And I can really control it. Now, obviously, the bigger dumbbell you have, the harder it's going to be able to grip the outsides. So you may have to rethink your grip. All right, nice job. Okay, so get rid of the dumbbell. So we're going to stay on the mat, but now we're going to be prone. So on our stomach, we're going to be actually on our hands and knees. All right. Okay, so we have the quadruped fire hydrant. So what we're doing here is hands and knees, okay? Trying to keep that back neutral and straight, making sure that it doesn't sag, doesn't arch up, okay? Hands are going to be pretty close to under the shoulders. Now what we're looking to do here is think about a dog, going potty on a fire hydrant. Kind of crude, but kind of what we're looking at. So basically bringing that knee out to the side, not too high. So you're having to shift your weight to your other knee, and then your hands are taking the weight also. So trying to hold that position, and then go out nice and controlled. Maybe you do 3 on one side and then go to the other. Up to you. As best you can, keep those abdominals tight and just out to the side. A small motion. What do we got? About 25 seconds here, looks like. Just out to the side here. Bent, knee is still bent. Now we're just bringing it out to the side as far as you feel comfortable, as high as you feel comfortable. And as best you can, trying to keep that low back and upper back straight, kind of like a tabletop. All right, take a break there. Give your wrists and your arms a break. We're getting some work, of course, on the front shoulders and chest, triceps. It's kind of a planking push-up position. And then you're getting work on the abdominals and low back having to stabilize. And then outside of the hip and glutes and thigh is kind of what we're working here. A lot of the outside glute on the rear, kind of our main mover with the joints that are moving at least. And then the rest are just stabilizing and holding weight. Okay, let's get in position again. Take, multiple breaks if you need to, especially if you're, for your hands and wrists, if that's the tough part. Because again, we're taking some weight off on one of the legs, and hands are going to have to take even more weight now along with that other leg. So slow and controlled. Head is just going to look down, just like the chest, just kind of a neutral head and neck. And keep breathing as always. Keep those abdominals tight. Trying to keep that low back and middle back straight as you can. Okay, looks like that's it for time. Excellent. All right, so getting up, we have a cardio next. So I'm going to get rid of my mat, get rid of my dumbbell. Remember to clean up and clear up your space for our cardiovascular here. Grab some water. And remember, you can get going right away, or we've got to transition another 15 seconds. Make sure to clear up your space. All right, let's do a little bit of knee straightening after that last one here. Remember, how fast you go is all up to you, and what you do is up to you also. Again, if you've got dance classes, or maybe you've done martial arts, whatever you can do to get your heart rate moving here. Let's go back this way here. So reverse toe tap. And play around with the angles of the hands. A little higher, more to the chest height middle, a little lower below chest. Just kind of play around with the pattern. About a minute and a half left. All right, back to regular marching here. Nice, narrow march here. Arms pumping away. Now let's get nice and wide with the feet. A wide march. Now let's take about 4 steps forward here. Kind of depends on how many, how much room we have, and 4 steps back. And back to narrow, 4 steps forward. Excellent, and 4 steps back. Being aware of your surroundings, nice and wide. Excellent, keep it going, and narrow, and wide, and narrow, and wide. Alternate, narrow, wide. Keep alternating. All right, back to a narrow march here. Now we're going to start on the left foot, nice and wide. Narrow, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. Keep it up. All right, narrow again. Very good. All right, do a little bit of scissors here. So a little side tap with the feet, and then scissor, palms up. Nice, excellent job. All right, so we have bicep curl to chicken wing here. So let's grab a couple dumbbells. Couple dumbbells here. So what we're looking at is your bicep curl. So let me demonstrate here. Bicep curl. Again, bracing those abdominals. Give yourself a good stance with the feet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the hand, dumbbell in each hand, facing my hips, and I'm going to at the same time bend the elbows fully, and then nice and slow, straighten all the way. And what I do a rotation curl here. So forearms and wrist will rotate on the bottom, and then rotate coming on the way up, rotate going down. Okay, so that's your bicep curl. Now what we're going to do is add a chicken wing. Think about like a chicken flapping their wings. So we're going to bicep curl up, then at the top we're going to chicken wing out to the side, okay, and then back in, and now we straighten those elbows. Bend, chicken wing, elbows come out to the side, about parallel to the floor, and back down. All right. Straighten those elbows, bend those elbows, chicken wing up, chicken wing down, straighten those elbows. Think good posture. Relax those shoulders. About 13 seconds or so. There you go. And just rotating those shoulders. Rotating those elbows up and down. All right, take a break there. And again, you can relax your grip if you want to. Give yourself a break. So what we're looking at, bicep, and then here we're getting some good middle deltoid. Upper trapezius is having to stabilize a little bit as we do that, especially the heavier the dumbbell you have. So again, nice and control. We're getting some good work on the grip. Again, last thing we want to do is dump those dumbbells on your feet or your floor. So nice firm grip, dry hands. Okay, grab those again. Let's get in position for another minute. Brace those abdominals nice and tight. And we're going to bicep curl, chicken wing up and down. There you go, up and down. And as always, breathing. Nice and controlled with those chicken wings. And with the biceps, we don't want any kind of momentum. So slow and controlled. Again, just the elbows and shoulders moving, no hips, nothing else. Not swinging the arms. 20 seconds. Keep pushing, almost there. And I'm not doing the rotation curl right now. It's a little easier just to bend and straighten. Less the movements to have to try to do to keep a good pace here. All right, nice job here. Okay, so what we need is you're going to need your resistance tubing and a chair. All right, so we've got tubing and a good solid chair, something that you can sit in that's not going to, not going to tilt on you or tip on you. I'm sitting more on the front part of this chair, okay? Because what I want to be able to do is lean back slightly to engage the abdominal muscles. So don't sit, against the back of the chair. Sit more on the, front half. So what I'm going to do now is palms down this time on this exercise. I can wrap them again if I want, but again, palms down. Elbows are going to be outside of the body. So what I'm going to do is elbows go back, and I'm going to bring this band right to my chest. As those elbows go back, squeezing my shoulder blades together towards my spine. So working the upper back muscles and the rear shoulder, a little bit of biceps in the arms. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a slight lean back. So now I'm getting abdominals kicking in. And then when I feel comfortable, I'm going to add some marching. Again, if your coordination and balance allows, and if your form is looking great, it's a nice slow march. So I'm getting some hip flexors in the front of the hips. Again, abdominals are kicking in. And at any time I can take a break, or I can at least sit upright and just keep with the upper body. And then when I feel like it, get back to the lean back and the march. Okay? All right, take a break there. So again, controlled, whatever speed you can do, whether the legs and the arms sync up or not, doesn't matter. Again, as long as your form is good, as long as you're looking good, elbows are out, palms are down. Okay, elbows are going to be lower than shoulder height. And then think about squeezing those shoulder blades against the spine. And then adding just a little bit of a lean back. How far you lean back is up to you, depending on, what your abdominals can do. And then, of course, just a little bit of marching. Not too high on the knees, just enough to get those hip flexors kicking in. Up to you. All right, so I'm going to lean back. Let's start again. A little bit of a march. I'm going to slow things down on the upper body and just pull back and squeeze those shoulder blades with one knee up. Again, abdominals are doing a little bit of work, having to stabilize, keep me from falling backwards. And then if I need a break, I just sit upright. All right. Keep breathing, of course. So we're getting upper back muscles, backs of the shoulders. We're getting hip flexors in the front of the hips, abdominal muscles. Keep moving, almost there. All right, nice job, well done. Okay, so you can get rid of your rubber band and your chair and grab one dumbbell again. Something heavier if you have it. Dumbbell or kettlebell. If you've got a bag of flour or sugar, 10-pound bag of flour or sugar, that sort of stuff will work really great too. Backpack with something in it. As long as you can have a good grip and grab it, that's all we're looking for. All right, so here we're going to do something just kind of like luggage storage. This, something a little more functional. Think about if you've got a suitcase or a box or something in your hands, and you've got to store it in different spots. Things that are above your head, maybe a shelf that's chest height, a shelf that's a little lower, different things like that. So we're going to play around and just, whatever kind of pattern. I'm going to grab the dumbbell with both hands. Actually, I'll probably do it this way here. And then I'm just going to reach up, bracing the core. So as I do that, I brace my abdominal muscles. I'm going to, twist only with kind of the feet and the hips as opposed to planting and twisting. So think about if I had to put something up here and then here. So just kind of, again, a little bit of a squat, keeping that low back straight. Okay, just kind of play around. Maybe it's face height. Maybe it's, knee height right in front of you. Keeping that low back straight. Keeping the abdominals tight. Bracing the core. And we're just storing this luggage or this box, different spots. Maybe it's to the side. And there's a little bit of rotation there. Get into a lunge position or a squat position slightly. All right, take a break. So think about, if you're carrying luggage on an airplane and you had to put it up in the overhead bin, or, you've got a, toaster oven in your house that you're putting in a cabinet, chest height or a big, potato pot for the bottom shelves, all that sort of stuff. But again, the heavier you can do, the better. And slower and controlled, making sure, again, bracing the abdominals, really using good form, keeping that, low back straight, nothing bowing at all, but always chest out, head up. Okay, let's try it again. And I can squat or get in kind of a slight lunge stance. Just keeping the abdominals tight, back straight, keeping this weight close to you unless you're putting it on something away from you. Normally, you'd walk up to something and place that in, but we're going to allow our arms to straighten out a little bit because what we have is not too heavy for most people. Unless you've got a microwave that you're holding on to right now and you're doing your exercises with that or something. But in general, it's okay to let, the weight come away from your body with this sort of stuff. All right, nice job. So up next we have another cardio. So getting rid of your dumbbell, clearing out your space, making sure you have water, and you can get going right away or take this little break. All right, I feel like the abdominals have been working well today. Okay, I'll start us out here. We got about 15 seconds of transition, or you can get going right away. Just continuous movement. How fast is all up to you. All right, we're officially going. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left here. A little bit of a shoulder press here, palms facing in, knees bending. All right, and now I'm going to go kind of a diagonal out to the side and back with the legs, but arms are doing something different. Going to work that coordination and balance. All right, let's get back to some marching, so some ladder climbing. A little more hip flexor work. Let's tire those guys out again. And switch the arms up to chicken wing. Excellent. About 1:30. All right, so keeping those abdominals tight, hands together. Think about a figure 8. A little bit of a rotation in the torso. So good rotation in the torso, hips are swiveling and moving too. How big things are, as far as how big that figure 8 is, how much swiveling in the hips and the abdominals. Torso, that's all up to you. You can kind of dip in with the hands, get some range of motion here. Just some good consistent motion. All right, let's do some stepping side to side with some uppercuts. So punching up and across your body. Consistent motion. Excellent. All right, let's get back to marching. We got about 30 seconds. Now let's kind of just stepping forward and back. Snap along if you like. It's kind of a little dance. Forward and back, however many steps you feel comfortable, depending on the space you have. A little heel tap here. All right, nice job. Okay, so we're going to work on some balance and cool down here. So nice and easy. Let's start with a little bit of heel walking. So think about bringing your toes up into the air. All right. And if you have, if you don't have a lot of room, you can tick-tock back and forth, or, walking backwards and side to side, walking around in a circle, maybe a figure 8 pattern, whatever works for you. But we're working the shin muscles. We're working some balance, coordination, and then we are also working cool down. This is not cardio, so now, we're still moving, but we're cooling down. Now let's switch it to walking on the toes. So here we're going to give our calves a workout. Same sort of thing. Forward and back, side to side, tick-tocking, whatever works for you. But try to stay on those toes, working the calf muscles. We're cooling down still, some balance involved. Excellent. Keep going here. All right. So what we're looking at here now is some up and over. Think about the sleeping dogs. If you've got 1 or 2 sleeping dogs, you got to step over. Okay, smaller dog, you're just going to step over. How big that dog is up to you. I'm going to step over 3 dogs. That's what I have room for here. And step over 3 dogs on the way back. And again, the bigger the dog, the bigger step you have to take. Gets a little more work to do. But again, we're moving, so we're cooling down. This is working our balance and coordination. Try not to look at your feet or your path that you're walking. Use your peripheral vision. So what we're going to do is we're going to freeze. So I'm going to take a step and then freeze. Dog's about to wake up, I better freeze. Next one, same sort of thing, freeze. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Whatever freeze you want. Step over and freeze into that single leg balance. Now, let's go back and freeze. Catch that balance. You can always do this, with a chair in front of you or down a hallway with a wall to kind of hold on to. Keep it comfortable, keep it safe. We'll go one more way across. And one more. All right, nice, cooling down. Let's keep walking a little bit. Keep moving. Still cooling down. Nice, deep breathing. All right, I think we can safely do some stretches now. You want to make sure that your heart rate's down. Below 100 beats per minute is nice to get it to that before you stop moving. All right, so let's do a little stretching. Let's think about leaning back here. I'm going to keep my weight on my back leg. I'm going to dig in the heel on my front leg. Toes and legs are pointed straight in front of me here. And I'm going to, just kind of hinge and lean forward till I get a good stretch behind the thigh, behind my knee on this front leg. You may feel it in your calf a little bit or your rump. We've done some good, hamstring and rear and thigh work today. So a nice good stretch. Good, 15 to 30 seconds is what we're trying for. Let's try the other leg. Make sure to drink plenty of water, especially if you're sweating a lot. Water or some sort of a drink with electrolytes, sports drink or something, especially if it's getting hotter out or you're just sweating a lot. Nice and easy, no jerking, no bouncing. You can even reach toward that foot depending on how much flexibility you have. All right, well done. Let's do another stretch. So here we're going to pelvic tilt like we did when we were laying on the back here. Pelvic tilt, bringing those hips forward, clenching the cheeks together on the rear. That straightens that low back. And then what I'll do is I'll clasp my fingers together, looking at my palms. And I'm going to push my hands away from my body as far as I can. Straightening the elbows all the way, pushing my hands away from my body, rounding out the upper and middle part of my back. Still breathing, always breathing. Go. You might feel a little bit in your forearms. Excellent. Okay, one more stretch here. So we're going to go 90 degree between armpit and ribs and between shoulder and elbow. Angle here, 90 degree angle. And now I'm going to bring my arms back. And it's called the field goal position for American football. What a field goal looks like here. So bringing those elbows back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Chest out, so we're stretching the chest, fronts of the shoulders. You can start bringing those hands together behind the head or behind your ears. Hands together or not, all up to you. Good deep breathing. Let's straighten those elbows. Palms up, thumbs back. And again, reaching back. And now let's dip our fingers backwards. So we're going to bend those wrists back. So we're getting a stretch. You feel that in the wrists and forearms. All right. Give a little shake out. Nice job. All right, well done. Thanks for being here today.